This time on Callahan's Garage, we're getting a little weird.
Hey, I'm Callahan. Welcome to Callahan's Garage.
Alright folks, welcome back to Callahan's Garage. My name is Callahan and today we are looking at my 1973 Cadillac S&S Hearse. So, if you're new to the channel, this is my hearse. I bought this thing back towards the end of last year. I've kind of just been driving it around, enjoying it. We've taken it to a bunch of local events and stuff. But today we're going to dive into this thing and we've got a bunch of work to do to it. So, if you're here for the hearse stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button because we got a bunch of stuff that we're going to do to this. So like I said, I bought this thing towards the end of the year last year. I road tripped all the way up to northern Ohio to pick this thing up, and I've actually got a video of the whole road trip process and kind of a walk around tour of this thing right after we brought it home. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it. But today we're finally going to start working on this thing. So like I said, I haven't really done anything to this other than just drive it around and enjoy it. We got a few issues that we need to fix while we're working on it, but if you look at my wheel and tire selection, you can probably guess, kind of what direction we're going to go with this thing. So basically the goal is to just do kind of a mild lowrider style build. And I say lowrider style because we're putting air suspension on it. I'm not going to put hydraulics on this car. It's just too much car for that. But full four-corner air ride, we've got to build an exhaust for it. We've got to build a gas tank for it. We have to 4-link the rear end for the air ride. We've got a ton of work to do to this thing. So the game plan today is just get a bunch of disassembly done and kind of look at how we're going to progress through all this stuff. All right, well, I'm sweating now. We got this thing jacked up nice and high so we can work on it, for the next couple weeks. I'm going to get the wheels knocked off of here while I'm still all hot and sweaty, and we'll cool down for a few minutes. All right, we got all the wheels and tires off and out of the way. So I'm gonna start tearing the front end down. This car originally came from Memphis. And then, like I said, I got it in northern Ohio. So it's been a little bit of time up north, so a lot of the suspension and the steering and stuff up here, it's really crusty. So some of this stuff's gonna be a pain in the butt to get apart, but we'll get it apart. And I'm gonna sandblast and powder coat all this stuff before we put it back together. Okay, well, we got the driver's side all torn down. Still got our sway bar hanging in here, and we'll pull the tie rods out once we get everything else unhooked. But this side's all stripped down. I'm gonna get the frame section up here cleaned up, and we'll paint this down the row. We'll clean up and paint this fender well. That way everything's nice and new and fresh in here when we put it all back together. Well, we got all of our front end torn down. We got a table full of parts here now, so I got all my air ride stuff over here already. But now we've got calipers, upper lower control arms, our front end strut bars, We got our hubs and our rotors and everything on the floor. We're gonna get all this stuff blasted and powder coated and cleaned up and ready to go back together. We've got to get the lower bag mounts welded on our control arms. We'll save all that for another day. We're gonna keep doing some tear down. Oh, finally, I have been dying to remove this corny muffler shop special with the cherry bomb glass pack on the end. This thing sounds terrible. It's going right in the trash. Alright, so we got some more disassembly done. I got the gas tank pulled out. I'm going to finish draining it and kind of set it to the side. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to use the gas tank or not. So basically in these cars, the gas tank just sits up under the bottom of the trunk floor, and it's the lowest point at the back of the car. So once this thing is hammered out, particularly if the back end of the car is lower than the front end of the car at any point, that gas tank would be the first thing to make contact with the ground. And we definitely don't want to be scraping our gas tank or dragging through it. So we're going to figure something out to get that, either a fuel cell, or we'll fabricate a new gas tank and get it, sucked up under the trunk a little bit more. So now that that's out of the way, freed up some space, I'm going to get the rear axle out of here. We'll get the leaf springs out of here, and then we'll pretty much be done with our teardown. Alright, well, we got our axle out of the car, out of the way. Last thing we got our old shock still hanging down in there. Now I got some more space, I can get the top mounts on those. And then I'm going to have to get in here and wrestle with these front bolts on our leaf springs. They are just completely grown together. So we'll get those heated up, banged out, cut out, whatever we got to do. Get the leaf springs out of there, and then we're pretty much wrapped up with all of our disassembly. Alright, so we wrapped up all of our disassembly on the hearse. Got the whole rear end torn out. Got the whole front end torn out. This thing is a blank canvas now, ready for us to build our suspension on. So we've got boxes of new parts. We got a bunch of old parts we need to clean up. So in the next video, we're gonna get all this stuff sandblasted and powder coated, and we'll start putting our new parts together and putting the hearse back together. So if you want to keep following along with the hearse build, make sure you hit the subscribe button and keep sticking around. But for now, thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time.